No, I don't wanna waste what's left. And on we'll go.
Hello, welcome back to my channel. And if you're new here, my name is Barbie. So I wanted to come on here and talk to you guys for a little bit. There's been a few things I wanted to talk to you guys for a while, and I haven't had a chance to just sit down and talk. So I'm just gonna do like a chatty vlog. So as you guys have heard me say in my grocery hauls, I have gone gluten-free. You guys know about Yaya going gluten-free, but I also went gluten-free. And that is because when we had her little scare with the celiac, which she turned out not to be celiac, but just very intolerant to gluten, when I started educating myself about gluten and what gluten can cause to people who are intolerant, I found myself finding a lot of symptoms that I've been dealing with for a few years now that are associated to intolerance to gluten. So one of those things is bloating, and I've been dealing with bloating for a few years now, where I would wake up in the morning and I'm feeling fine, and then somewhere along the day I ate something and it was just that painful bloating sensation, and I couldn't pinpoint what it was. I mentioned it to my doctor in one occasion, and she seemed to think it was probably lactose that was giving me that. So I switched over to lactose-free milk, and I'm still getting the same symptoms. So I would just avoid dairy, thinking that's what it was. I started taking Lactate, and I was still getting the same feeling. So I was like, it's not that, because when I would eat, let's say if I would eat only like a cheese stick, for example, by itself, I wouldn't get that bloating sensation. But when I would eat something like cereal, I would feel, sick after. So that was one. Another one was this like fogginess sensation, like a floating sensation, and dizziness when I would eat certain foods. And that one I would associate it to sugar, because usually I would get that when I ate like a cookie, or I ate a muffin or a cupcake or a cake or things like that. So I was like, well, definitely this is sugar that's causing me this. But after more and more I read about gluten and educated myself on it, I find that it's not the sugar, it's the gluten that's making me feel that, because it can, on people who are intolerant, it can give you that fogginess sensation or that kind of like floating sensation. And then one other thing was, I had a little hive that would pop up, and kid you not, I had that little hive like for 3 years at least, that it would kind of come and go, but it would never go away for a long time. It would like come and disappear and then come again. And I would always get it like around my neck, somewhere around here, my ear, or somewhere here, and it would just kind of come and go. And I just did not know why I was getting that. Well, that's another symptom that you can have with gluten intolerance, is it can make people break out in hives. And it was very uncomfortable, and it would itch, and of course it would bother me, because people would ask like, what's wrong? What do you have there? Like, is that a mosquito bite? So those were the three main things that I have been experiencing for like 4 years now. So when Yaya had to go gluten-free, I decided to test myself, just do a test of my own, just remove gluten from my diet and see how I would feel. So I did that for about a week, and the difference was like night and day. No bloating at all. I just felt amazing that for that week. It was like I could eat and I didn't feel bloated. I didn't feel sick. So I made an appointment with my doctor, because it was time to get my physical done for the year. And I mentioned it to my doctor, and he told me that he was going to order some blood work just to make sure and see if I had the antibody for celiac. And if I didn't, he said, it doesn't matter if you're feeling good with a gluten-free diet, continue a gluten-free diet. It's not in your head. It's not something you're making up. It is a real thing. It is a real diagnosis. Some people have what it's called non-celiac gluten sensitivity, which means you're not celiac, but you're still intolerant to gluten for whatever reason. Because I haven't been like this my whole life. It just developed over, the last few years. So I got the test back from my blood work, and I don't have the antibody. That came back normal. But I have made the switch to being gluten-free now. And guess what? The little hive, it went away. It hasn't come back. It's been over a month now that it hasn't come back. And I'm feeling great, you know, and I made the switch. So pretty much all the meals that I cook, like all my dinners, they're gluten-free. So everybody's eating gluten-free, even if they're not on a completely gluten-free diet. It was very easy. It was not hard at all to make the switch. I just replaced like condiments and sauces and things that had gluten for ones that don't have gluten. And a lot of the foods that we eat are naturally gluten-free anyways. So that's one thing. And then another thing also, I mentioned this in one of the videos I did a while back, like a sit down video, is I deal with a lot of like pains. Like I have problems with my back, and I have plantar fasciitis on my right foot, and I deal with some chronic pain that I've seen the specialist for, and they just can't pinpoint it. They're just like, there's nothing else we can do. I'm doing physical therapy, but there's only so much it helps. And another thing that I read with the gluten thing, and I talked about it with my doctor, is that gluten can cause generalized inflammation in your body for people who are intolerant to it. And he agrees that being on a gluten-free diet, it can help me with the chronic inflammation in the body and helping me with the pain, you know, that it. So I am hopeful that maybe making this switch long term, it will help me with that. He's very positive that it will help me with it. I don't know how long I have to be, you know, gluten-free to notice a difference. It's been like a month, less than a month, because I went to see him at the end of September and we're at the end of October right now. So it's been less than a month that I have been strictly gluten-free. So I have read, you know, it could take a while for something like that, for the chronic inflammation to start going down. It could be, I don't know, 6 months or so, but I'm hopeful that maybe through what I'm eating, it can help me with that, because it's frustrating to be in the amount of pain that I am every day. And I mean, people who are around me, they would never know, because I just push through it. I don't just lay down and sob all day because of the pain that I have, but there are days that is just so painful, especially my right foot. It's just so painful. So hopefully, you know, I'm in the right track by eating a gluten-free diet and staying active with my physical therapy exercises and all that to feel better. So that was one thing I wanted to talk to you guys about and let you know why I went gluten-free. Now, the other thing is, I talk a lot in my grocery hauls about counting calories and also doing freestyle Weight Watchers, or WW. I like to call it Weight Watchers freestyle. And when I joined Weight Watchers in September 2018, I wanted to lose 10 pounds. Well, fast forward to right now, 2019, we're almost into November, I've lost 17 pounds. And I feel great. I feel awesome. I feel amazing. I'm not trying to lose any more weight. I'm just trying to maintain the weight, in which I have. I pretty much lost the 15 pounds in I think at the beginning of the year, like by February, I had already lost those 15 pounds. I had lost them, I think, by December. But then I gained like 5 pounds over the holidays and all that. And then I lost them again in January. So by, let's say, February, I reached those 15 pounds and I've kept them off. But then like maybe 2 months ago, when I started playing around with calorie counting, I ended up losing 2 more pounds without even trying. So I've lost a total of 17 pounds. My weight fluctuates between 123 and 125. It's just normal fluctuation, you know, it just goes up and down, but it stays there. And I'm feeling good. Let's see. For losing weight, I think Weight Watchers is amazing because it's very easy to use. It's the app is very user-friendly. Having all those 0 point foods is amazing because you have a lot of vegetables and fruits that you can eat the quantity to fill up, but the calories are not very high. There's 0 points. But now that I'm done losing the weight and I'm eating the right portions, that's another thing I thank Weight Watchers for teaching me, is portion sizes. Now I would like to incorporate some other foods that are really high on Weight Watchers. For example, almonds or nuts in general. You know, they're very high point foods, or avocado, or, you know, I can't think, nothing else comes to mind right now, but like almonds or almond butter. I love those kind of things, and they're good for you. They have healthy fats. Of course, you're not gonna eat a lot because everything in excess is bad, right? But I'm talking about if I want to eat, a couple tablespoons of almond butter with, I don't know, a rice cake, that can add up really quick. Or those coconut clusters, which coconuts have a lot of good fats also. Like the coconut clusters I buy at Costco, one serving of that is like 8 points. 8 points is a lot if you only get 23 points a day. But if I'm counting calories, that serving of those coconut clusters is only like 100, and I think it's like 160 calories per serving, which if you're eating like myself, if I'm eating like 1,500 calories a day, it's easy to make that work into my day. So that's why I'm doing both. I kind of look at the points. I eat the same foods pretty much every day. I always buy pretty much around the same foods. So I already know around the points. But I'm also looking at calories and buying like new snacks that maybe before I wouldn't buy because I was like, oh no, those are too high, or those are 5 points. I don't want to spend 5 points on that. Or like protein bars, for example, or the Lara bars, those are like 230 calories a bar, and I think they're like 8 points or 9 points or something like that. Maybe it's less, maybe it's like 6 or 7. But some of those bars, they can be high, but with calories you can make it work. So that's why I'm kind of doing both. Don't get me wrong, I still love Weight Watchers. Diego's still following it. He lost 20 pounds in the program, and I still measure out his food and everything, but he is eating a little bit more, but he's very active. He's out on the soccer field pretty much every single night, so he has to eat more than what I eat for sure. But that's why I've been calorie counting, just because I feel like I can incorporate some foods that on Weight Watchers are really high on points. And also, you do have to, be careful with the 0 point foods, because just because there's 0 doesn't mean there's 0 calories. And I know there's tons of videos out there about that, but you can eat a 0 point meal and you can be in your head like, oh, it's 0 points, I'm fine. But if you count the calories for the 0 point meal, you can have easily a 400, 500 meal. But since you're thinking points only, you may not think that that's a lot. So, and I did that little experiment when I started counting calories. I counted the points and I counted the calories, and believe me, I was eating way more calories than what I'm eating now by just counting calories, because I was eating a lot more 0 point foods like fruits. I would come home from work and I would be starving, and maybe I still had another couple hours before eating dinner, but maybe I only had like 8 points left for the day, and I didn't want to eat them on a snack because maybe my meal for dinner was gonna be like 6 or 7 points. So I would eat like fruit, like a lot, because I was hungry, and I would be like, well, it's 0 points. But now that I'm counting calories, I don't eat that quantity of fruits that I was eating, because I know how fast the calories will add up, and I'm not starving. If I'm hungry, if I come home from work and I'm still hungry, I'll eat like a cheese and maybe a handful of almonds, and that'll keep me full until dinner time. So I guess what I'm trying to say is that at the end of the day, whether we count calories or we count macros or we count points, it's calories in versus calories out. That's just the way our body is. It's the calories that we put into our body versus the calories that we burn throughout the day. That's just the way it is. So whatever it is that you're counting, whether it's calories or points, just be mindful of that. I just wanted to come on here and talk to you guys and let you know why I've been, counting calories and versus points. I still have my app for Weight Watchers. I'm not getting rid of it. And I love the program. I mean, don't get me wrong. I am a true believer that Weight Watchers works when you work the program. Yeah, so let me know what you guys are gonna do with the new Weight Watcher plans that are coming. Like, what is it? November 11th, I think it is, that they're rolling them out. I'm gonna stay with whatever color the freestyle is because that's the program that I know how to work, and I don't want to have to learn how to, or count points for things that I'm not used to. But yeah, let me know what you guys are doing. So talk to me below in the comments. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't already, and I will see you guys on my next video. Goodbye.